Hey Miles, thanks for watching. I just wanted to shoot over this video and kind of just briefly outline how some SEO works. I know you've done a lot already in the building of the page. I just want to kind of show you how we do some things both on and off the page, and then how it kind of stacks up against the competition. So what I did was just a quick search for landscaping Rhode Island, and I just took the top two pages that come up, so Andrews and Shalvey Brothers. So I take all three of those sites, yours and those two, and I put them into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the information that Google finds when it crawls your site that it uses to determine your position in the search results, and then rates its strength and trust on a scale of 1 to 100. So you can just briefly look at some of these numbers on the other websites and see why they're ranking at the top of the list. But let me just go into a little bit of brief detail on what these numbers mean. And then as we go through your site, you can see what changes and stuff we can add and what needs to be done in order to affect it so that we can get you ranking in the search results. So when Google is determining in what order to rank a website, it uses two factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that it has in your site. Now, this basically boils down to a popularity contest because this authority is gained when other domains or websites refer back to yours and then they create a link. And then that acts as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. So to give you a quick example, let's say local Channel 12 News did an article on the top 10 best landscapers in the Rhode Island area. And in that article, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website. That would be considered one backlink from one referring domain. Now, you can get a lot of these backlinks from different types of websites, blogs, guest posts, editorials, press releases. However, one very strong and important type is what's called a citation. Now, a citation is any time that your name, address, and phone number appear in an online directory. Those include Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau. Most of these directories are free. Just take some time to find them, register your business, and then input the information exactly as it's shown in Google. So if we go back to take a look at these, you can see based on the number of links that are being created for these websites, why Google is trusting them and placing more authority with them and therefore putting them higher up in the search results. But it's also something to note here is it's not just a matter of the quantity of these links, it also has a lot to do with the quality. So certain websites are more spammy than others, especially ones that are outside the United States. But we really want to try to find websites that are relative to your service industry to link back to. So that way that relativity and the authority and trust from that website gets transferred through the link to yours. Now, the second factor is the content on the page. So I know the page is relatively new, so you haven't found it. Google hasn't probably indexed much of it yet. But if we just take a look here at one of the competitors to kind of show you how this works. These are all the keywords and phrases that are being typed into Google search that are being found on the page, as well as the volume, the number of times per month. So this is where we do a little bit of research to try to find all the best and the highest volume keywords relative to the services that you offer and the areas that you service, and make sure that those are being included on the page. So then you can see, for instance, Rhode Island landscaping. That's being searched 600 times a month. If you're on the first page, those 600 people will be seeing your website every time they search. Now, Google Analytics estimates that 10% of total search volume converts into a lead for your business, whether through a contact form or a direct phone call. So you're looking at a potential of 60 leads coming off this one search. Depending on how many actually become jobs that you service and whatnot, let's say only another 10% of those actually become a customer. So you're looking at 6 customers or 6 jobs per month just off of this one keyword phrase. Now, obviously, different jobs, different profit margins and whatnot, but you can see just how the sheer volume of leads coming in can definitely add up to some revenue at the end of the month and the end of the year. And that's just off one keyword phrase. So we'll repeat that same process for all the high volume keywords, making sure that those are found on the site. However, there is a formula that Google uses to find these keywords on the site. So if we take a look here, Wix is a great platform for a owner or operator to be able to use and build their site. It's not exactly the best platform for SEO. There's not as many things we can do in the background. I do all my web builds on a program called WordPress. There's a whole lot of plugins that you can add to the website that can really help out in optimizing it for search engine capabilities and stuff like that. But as far as the site layout, everything looks fine. When we got information up at the top of the header, It is sometimes nice if the header stays with the page, so that way as you're scrolling, you can still go back to any service or any page that you need to. However, as far as Google is concerned, it's a computer, so it doesn't care what the layout looks like. It's just going to come in and count all the words and text on the page. Now, generally, as a rule of thumb, we say that you should probably have about 1,000 to 1,500 minimum words on your page, because the more information's on the page, the more Google thinks that you're an expert, and then the more likely it is to recommend you. Now, while it's counting all the words, it's also searching for those keywords. So any of the services and the locations that you work in. However, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play, because you're only allowed to have one of those keywords for every 100 to 150 words of text on the page. So the more keywords or services or locations you want to be found for means that the more content that needs to be added to the page. And then furthermore, after some of the latest updates, Google is really getting heavy on the content side of it because it wants to make sure that the search results are extremely relative to whatever the person is searching for. So in order to qualify a keyword, that 100 to 150 words of text have to be directly describing and talking about the keyword itself. So we can't just sprinkle keywords throughout a sentence as we're talking about anything. It needs to be directly relating to the keyword, because the Google bots are actually reading the content. And if it's not relative enough, they're not qualifying that as a keyword. So basically, what we need to do is find, all the services that you want to be found for, as well as what might be some high volume searches that people are doing. There's a bunch of free tools out on the internet to do keyword research if you wanted to go that route as well, just to see what people are actually searching for. Even just, autofilling in Google, if you start typing, it'll just autofill what people are searching for. There's a few different ways you can find it without having to have a program such as this. But that's basically one of the bigger part of my jobs, is just doing keyword research to find, what people are searching for, making sure that that content is on the page. Then we start building the links, because the link has to point directly to a keyword on a specific page. So once we know what keywords we want to try and rank for, we build those links to them to create that trust and create that authority in the eyes of Google. And that'll help you out in actually getting in the organic search results down here. Now, up at the top here in the map section, this is where your Google business profile will come into play. I'm not sure if you have one yet or not, but there are ways to optimize that listing so that way you can come up in these top three, which is also gets you some traffic as well. It does have a little bit to do with proximity of where the people are searching from. So obviously, if somebody is searching from like Boston, you're not going to get pulled up there. It's definitely location based. However, for Rhode Island, it's a pretty small area. As long as we have, keywords filled out inside your business description, you're allowed 750 characters. We want to max that out. Fill out all the information as possible, your services, hours of operation, phone number, things like that. Then what you really want to do is take as many photos as you can, and then we geolocate them. We tag them with a longitude and latitude. That way Google can understand where the picture is taken from and really understand not only your service area, but your proximity to wherever somebody is searching from. And you want to upload those as well as posting onto your business profile on a regular basis. And try to get as many reviews as you can. And then another big thing is getting as many of those citations, your name, address, and phone number. You want to be listed in more directories than anybody else on this list. So this organic search results section, this is where the more authority or trust that Google has in your site, the higher up on the list you're going to rank. So this section is where more of those links or referrals from other websites is going to help you climb and outrank some of the competition, so you can get up here and you can get that traffic and volume whenever anybody's searching, so you can get some leads to the business. I hope this information was helpful and shows you how you can scale some of the online presence. Obviously, a big thing to consider is, how much work you want to take on, and then we try to tailor how many leads you're going to be getting in based on that. But realistically speaking, if you're not on the first page, unfortunately, you're invisible. If you're not towards the top of the first page, you're going to miss out on well over 75% of the traffic. So it really is about being, into the top three. Um, Obviously you don't have to beat out Yelp and Angie, but the top three actual companies is where you really need to be in order to capture any of the search volume and traffic that we're talking about. So, please feel free to get back to me if you got any questions. We can, talk about some of the goals for the business. Then I can do some of the research on my end, find out what it would take for you to reach that. Just we can get you to a number that you're comfortable at, so that way you're not, working crazy hard and it's just you, or if you're looking to scale and hire some guys and we can get some more leads coming in, we basically tailor it to, what exactly you're looking to do to grow for the business. So I appreciate it. I'll be talking to you soon.